Handshakes, episode 6. I am your host, Isaac Oswald of 21 Handshake. We were here at Harmony Hall off of 401 Stocking. I remember that. It's good. We have a couple astute guests here from the Better Business Bureau here in West Michigan. To my left, we have Chris Palmer. And to my left, we have John Masterson. Boys, welcome to Hops and Handshakes. Let's do a little cheers.
Cheers to you. Thank you for having us.
That's good.
It's a good beer.
So how's it going?
It's going, man.
Yeah?
Our business bureau is growing and
Yeah?
picking up more steam, so
Perfect.
everything's moving in the right direction.
Perfect. Dive into that. All right, give me like a synopsis of what the BBB does here in West Michigan.
So the Better Business Bureau is kind of the intermediary between consumers and businesses, as well as charities and donors. And so we kind of work to inform consumers on how to find good, reputable businesses, donors, good, reputable charities, and then on the flip side, how to be a better business, how to work with ethics, and then same with charities as well, kind of making sure they're up to best practices and standards.
Okay, so like a large filter, basically, for the entire area.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Chris, you said you had some meetings this morning.
I did,
What kind of fun stuff are you up there that you're allowed to share? There's a lot of high secretive stuff going on.
super secretive.
Sure.
No, so I run the foundation side of the Better Business Bureau, and the foundation side is more focused on the outward attention of the BBB. So in terms of educating the public, in terms of helping and walking alongside businesses to help them become better businesses, but then also with charities as well. And so there's this overall theme of how do we make West Michigan the most trustworthy place in the U.S. And the BBB wants to be part of that movement within not only Grand Rapids, but also within West Michigan.
Absolutely. What do you guys struggle? I mean, so obviously, if you can tell by looking at them, younger guys. And I think a lot of people hear the BBB, and it's maybe a brand that's been around for a long time. Maybe historically a deeper association with the baby boomer generation versus we'll say 2 generations under it, because millennial is almost like a curse word now, but we'll say younger. So do you guys find that as a challenge, or is it also, / opportunity? I mean, what does day-to-day look like with that?
So it's definitely a challenge. I mean, obviously low-hanging fruit is the older generations that grew up without the internet.
Sure.
Now it's Angie's List, Yelp, Home Advisor. We're just competing against a lot of different channels and different services that offer something similar. But absolutely, we view millennials as kind of the next generation. So we want to capture them and then grow with them so that we build that brand overall. That said, millennials have short attention spans, and it's sometimes hard to get in front of them or stay in front of them. And so that's definitely a huge opportunity, but also a struggle to kind of get them.
But you're working pretty diligently on that with on the social media side, content side, and that's a lot of your day-to-day, correct?
Yep, a lot of the day-to-day is social media. It's where people are, it's where people are talking. And so if we can insert ourselves in that communication, we can be there and provide useful information, inform people, help people, and we take that holistically through search engine, email, and the whole 9 yards. So,
and you're spending a fair amount of time helping your accredited businesses as well, right?
Yep.
Okay, because not everybody's got it figured out in that realm as well.
Right. So we have to do it as an organization for our own purposes, but we also want to help people do better business. And so these are a lot of 1 to 10 employee type businesses that have a lot of room to grow and need more employees to do marketing or whatever it is. So we definitely help as kind of that extra arm, that extra outsourced service for these businesses.
Gotcha. And I would add to that too, in terms of the principles of the BBB and how far, it's a 105-year-old organization. It's been around for a long time, especially in West Michigan. I think we're 80 years in West Michigan alone. But there is this gap, this U35, so under 35, are not truly aware of what the BBB is, where it's come from, the history of the BBB. And so there's kind of a double-edged sword, as we push out into the community with this new campus and this new building, how do we invite our community back into the BBB. At the end of the day, as a nonprofit, this is our community's Better Business Bureau, right? It's funded by the businesses, it's funded by the community to be a service and a public service to the community. So I think giving the opportunity to say, hey, let's take these principles of trust, which is what the foundation is built, or the BBB is built upon, and reframe them for a new generation. Our generation needs to understand what trust is in a whole new way, especially now, today.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure they're thankful to have you guys. You guys.
We wear the same shirt.
Yes, exactly.
Well dressed.
It's our BBB.
They do not uniform themselves. I've been there. They do not uniform themselves. So you talked about a building. So you guys are going through this endeavor of a new building, a new space. I know you're a little far off quite a bit in the process right now. But what are you looking to? You both have been very active at it, due to age and all of that like that, and background and that stuff. What are you looking to achieve with that?
I mean, besides functionality, because ours is kind of crammed right now, we want it to be somewhere that we can invite businesses, invite consumers or charities, and be proud about it.
Yep.
Have them come in and then get something useful from us, leave, go out in the world, and make it a better place type deal.
Gotcha.
So we want it to be functional and usable. So this will be open and transparent and great for us.
So give me the season, or give me the date, give me the season in which this building will be open.
Hold on a second. I just got a phone call. I think it turned off my recorder. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
So I just restarted.
No, you're good.
Okay.
We don't worry, that's perfect. We don't edit this shit.
You don't edit this? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. They would edit me way too much. It would take way too long.
Which season do you want to talk about?
Which season should we open? Which season will the new building be
winter?
But winter.
So yeah, I mean, at the end of the year, it should coordinate really well with our Torch Award events.
All right. Well,
end of
look
year
for that
and
spring. All right.
late end of year. Yeah.
Okay. End of year. Awesome. All right. Aside from the BBB, talk to me, and this might make you talk to me about whether it could be at the BBB or something else that you've done in your life. Talk to me about something you put more work in and were able to, through a grind, achieve a better result than average. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right. You first. You guys nod the same, wear the same shirts.
Yep.
Not
All you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I look at, so my background has been more in the startup world for the last 7 or 8 years or so, and it's been fun kind of watching this idea of taking a concept from a journal and beginning to build the pieces to a company that's sustainable. And it is not, it's not always like up and to the right, as they say, right? So when you're starting a company, you want to be up and to the right. So it's not always up and to the right. In many ways.
You didn't have the hockey stick company?
No, I mean, I don't think the hockey stick probably exists in life. And I think the idea of, those early conversations with those people truly does matter. And looking back in hindsight, a couple of different companies, looking back in hindsight, those were the conversations that actually framed a lot of the story and the narrative of what you're actually living into. So not only does it become about the company that you're creating, but also who are you becoming through that process? Because it is a grind. And I think if you start out with a really beautiful narrative or a beautiful destination, and you have the right people around you and the right resources around you, I mean, at the end of the day, you might become a better person as well, even though you're creating something of value.
So that's, I'm not gonna let you speak yet.
It's tough to follow up.
No, it's so, doing something like that, a startup or a new business or an entrepreneurship, it tends to feel like you're the maverick, right? The Lone Ranger type of person, so to speak.
Yeah. And
having the people around you is so important. Now, there's certainly things that you witnessed that you had to go through alone, that growing process that you can't. Well, once I get here, I'll work on that. No. You got to grow at that point.
That never arrives either.
No, it doesn't.
And
You'll be waiting for that train for a long time.
Well, it's really interesting too. I think some of those important milestones or waypoints, as I call them, when you're starting a company, oftentimes when you're going so fast, even if you succeed at one of those waypoints, sometimes you're already on to the next thing. You never even celebrate those moments, and so it's really important with your team to actually pause and say, "Hey, you guys, we wanted to go here, we got here, and then we did it." And I
Absolutely.
know part of us, we always just want to keep moving. If you're not growing, you're dying type of mentality.
Absolutely.
But there is an idea of pausing and
Moving forward or backward, one of the two, not in between. But
Yeah.
gotcha. John?
Mine's not nearly as character-based and whatnot, but at least from a marketing standpoint, every business everywhere is marketing all the time.
Sure.
They do it in any number of ways, and kind of my daily grind, if you want to call it, is finding ways to do it better than them or do it in a different, unique way.
Sure.
And so that grind of staying competitive but also setting the pace and maybe leading the charge is a constant grind where you're just learning from other people and kind of adapting it for our uses. One of those things, I thought just plugging away at social media would be the answer, but kind of turning things around, it's become more of a communications piece where we're really reaching out to consumers, businesses, charities, and kind of engaging them and involving them. So, yeah, it takes a little time, but you learn a little.
But there's
things
no
here and there.
blueprint to that. And what you're doing is you're trying to capture attention and do it in a positive light, and hoping when you capture that attention, you can put your brand, you as a person or the business, whatever, in a positive light in some kind of way, in a helpful, useful light, right?
Exactly.
And as soon as somebody's got one thing figured out, it migrates next too, because that's the one thing. Like, we're constantly trying to, as users of any technology or as people looking at billboards or whatever, we're constantly trying to ignore things we don't want to see. So the hardest thing is actually giving somebody material, giving somebody a message that they actually do want to see and want more of. And one size does not fit all.
Yep.
Right? Your shirts might, or look like the same size. And the same
You got a great looking
but that's
shirt on.
about it.
Great here.
All right, so we'll move on from that. That's good. That's good. I like that. Number one lesson you've learned in your life, and that anybody could benefit from.
I'll let you take this one first.
I was going to say, what you do today determines what you wind up doing tomorrow. So even though it doesn't make sense or you may not see the end goal, it is still better to work your ass off on something,
sorry.
that you enjoy.
I'll lead you in cussing.
That could benefit people and benefit yourself at the same time. And so it's kind of not a blind faith, but just kind of trusting your gut and working towards it and not letting anybody tell you no.
Okay, I'm going to summarize what you said like in a little different way and see if it's what you're saying. It's like doing the job you have right now gets you to where you're not when I get here I'll work harder then.
Right.
But I don't like this job, so I'm just going to hang out. No, like doing that work today and then tomorrow is building better tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the right answer is always putting in some kind of work towards the future. It's not sitting and waiting in any one time. So
Absolutely.
you get there through doing and process, stepping on lesson
Pushing
after
forwards.
lesson. Yes.
Yep, at all times.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's probably my life lesson.
It's good.
What about you?
I think I don't know. I mean, I'm a little bit older than you. I guess a little bit, right?
You guys are
Maybe
ancient.
not much.
I'm killing you both in gray hair though.
Distinguished.
A distinguished look. I think I've been a big journaler
Yeah.
over the last 12 years.
I wish I had that habit. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's interesting looking back over kind of 12 years of journals. And oftentimes the things that I thought might be a mistake or might be unredeemable, I'm not sure what to do with this. If you let it sit long enough, you'll see it come back in a different type of way. And so I mean that in terms of like the failures that I thought I had along the way actually truly weren't failures. They were probably bumps in it. But if there were lessons learned, it would come back in more beautiful ways. And that's 12 years in. And I mean,
awesome.
and again, I think I look at all these different roads in my story and it's been fun to see it. I mean, it gives me hope for kind of some of these other pieces down the road.
It's understanding, and the fact that you've documented it is fantastic, and it's a habit that everybody should get into and be able to look back and stuff like that. That's awesome that you do that. But it's being able to understand that bump, even though it's really intense, that emotion, it's very easy, especially when it's your baby, whatever you're working on. It's very easy to get emotionally wrapped up and be like, this is awful, whatever. But usually that led to some kind of pivot point that maybe you wouldn't have pivoted then unless it hurt bad enough, or it was here and there like, man, we need to do this. Oh man, we need this. But that's like the one thing when you talk to people, it's like, well, just kind of give me the blueprint on like what I should do. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can give you some guidelines,
Yeah.
but like, you know.
I'm becoming more and more convinced that it's not necessarily about the what anymore, but it's really about the why and the who.
Absolutely.
About who you're doing it with.
Absolutely.
Is kind of the model.
The whole journey, you know. I mean, my mom told me that 15 years ago, 10 years, whatever. She goes, you have to enjoy the journey. I was like, man, the journey, okay, cool, whatever. But I'll just work really hard, put my head down. I'm gonna buy this course, do this thing, get X results, and then I'll worry about that journey thing. But I'm gonna get there. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. You know?
Yeah.
But no, that's good advice. I like that. What is a piece of advice, and it could be the same thing, but just framed differently, that you would tell your 16-year-old self or somebody else's child or your children, future children at that point in time where it's like, look, the kid is only going to listen to one thing I say, you know? Let's frame it. One thing I say about, you know, career, business, achieving goals, having the balance of life and that kind of stuff. What would that be?
I'd say try a lot of things. Try everything you can and weed it down to what you like, what you're good at, and then tackle those from there and see where to go. Kind of having a broad, open mind lets you know what else is out there and what you do like, but also what you don't like and what you don't want to waste your time on.
Do you think people don't try enough?
Yeah, I think
like trying meaning like experimenting different things. Again, it's not a drug conversation. This is different activities that they like, whatever. And why?
I think people can get caught up in certain things and then just get stuck on that, and instead of trying other things and kind of branching out or taking little pieces of this and putting into whatever you're doing, they just get stuck on, I want to be an Instagram photographer, and that's all they do. When there are other options, there are other ways to use that, and that may not even be the right way for you to go. Mm-hmm. So try it all, find what you like, and then go after it.
I think you have to, first of all, I'm very concerned with people that know what they want to do for the rest of their life. So they're 18, they're called doctors, years old, whatever. They're called doctors, whatever. I hope so. Yep. I mean, if they're that age and then they're working on me when they're 20 years from now, I hope they were right. You know. But I'm always like, and I don't know if this wasn't as popular and whatever, but you gotta know yourself better than at least I did, or I think most did it. For me, I'm 34, so 10, 15 years ago, whatever, you gotta know yourself a little bit better, understand, like, look, and be okay with, like, I suck at that. How many times do I say I'm not very good at this, or I'm not gonna do that, whatever, in our own business? Like,
I'm very openly admit it.
Yeah, so it's very easy to me to admit when I'm not very good at it.
No, I think there are a lot of people that won't do that.
Mm-hmm. So a little bar around behind, a little arrow behind Alex is back there hanging out too. Well, after effect, there he is. But I think it's also okay to do things, try it out that you're okay with, and try not to worry about what other people think, because that's got to be.
That stymies you altogether. Sure. You don't even get a chance to try.
But you realize they don't know shit either. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still trying to figure it out. But it's very easy to forget when you don't feel confident in something and you're not comfortable in it. It's harder to try out those things, and you probably should. Mm-hmm. And maybe if you didn't like them, at least you take a piece of them and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I like that. That's good. I'd tell that to my 16-year-old.
I'm not insurance, you know. It's terrible.
Next week we'll have an insurance person. Yeah,
to all the insurance listeners out there. I mean, I hope I wouldn't beat myself up. I mean, like at 16 years old, I was probably a pretty punk little kid in high school. Driving around a Ford Probe, I think, is what I had.
Oh, yeah, Ford Probe. No, yeah, man. Right up there with it.
But I think I would tell myself kind of two things. I think one would be don't let fear drive your decision making. I think oftentimes we're afraid of taking risks or afraid of going in a certain direction, not knowing the outcome. I think the second piece would be don't take yourself so seriously, especially in your 20s when you're supposed to have everything figured out. But you know, I probably put way too much stress on myself in my 20s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm 34 as well, or 33. I'll be 34.
God, he looks a lot better than me. You're aging well. You are.
I think it's just a matter of, you know, having a little bit more grace for yourself and your decisions, the people you meet. And I think I had some mentors along the way that have told me, in your 20s, you know, surround yourself with people that will really invest in you, even more so than the money that you can make, or you know, maybe the benefits of a company. But try to surround yourself with those leaders that will invest in you. And I've been really fortunate to have mentors and team members and people alongside of me to really encourage me along the way. And I think looking back in hindsight, I mean, I want to do the same for people at that age.
That's awesome, and I think that would be definitely one thing. You know, I knowing me, I wouldn't be able to say just one thing. The mentor part, understanding like the process, understanding that patience would be one, right?
Yeah.
Patience, and that's kind of what you're talking about. Don't be so hard on your
The long
patience,
shadows,
whatever.
yeah.
The long play, right? The fact the mentor thing is unbelievable. Even like things going on that we're working on in our businesses and things that we're working on. And I will get some kind of like, well, why are you doing that like that? And I can go back to where like, I look at them like, I don't really know. I don't know. But these mentors who have been there, done that, told me to do it. And honestly, they're a hell of a lot smarter than I am. And I trust them. I've known them a long time. So that's what they're saying. And so anyway, when things, even when you're questioned socially about even people that are like supporting you just don't really know what's going on, or you're challenged a little bit there. Like you kind of default on the person that's been there, done that. Mm-hmm. And they're like a metaphoric crutch in a way it's like, oh, well, hey, just leave that guy in. He's got a lot better things to do than steer me wrong, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I found though, like, some of the best mentors are the ones that might not tell you what to do, but they might ask you the right question, and eventually you'll understand your own posture on a certain issue or topic or whatever it may be. And I think, you know, having mentors, I mean, that would be something I would tell myself at 16. Like, try to figure out, get your mentor. I think I had my first mentor when I was 20. Kind of a mentor outside, well, back in college. And I think since then, I've always had at least one mentor who's been 10 years ahead of me. Mm-hmm. And then I've always had one mentor who was like 30 years ahead of me, 40 years ahead of me. So kind of the older generation mentor, and then someone who's always in that next season above me, right? So one that, you know, either got married or one that had kids. So I could, you know, like what would that look like, you know? So I mean, like life is way more than just about your business or about the work you do, right?
Exactly.
And so even we have two young kids. So how do we navigate that type of startup, right? I mean, that's an interesting, way out of control startup.
Right I was at a golf gathering up north in Traverse City this past weekend, and like on the tee box, you can sit there next to each other and a little chit chat, whatever. And hey, what's going on? You know, I never see these guys once every couple of years or something like that. And every one of my kids, I'm like, so how's kids? Like, what, you know, are you still sane? Can you handle it? What, like, tell me what I need to know, whatever. Like, I am asking everybody about the kid thing, right? You know, like whatever. Like, yeah, it's fine. You know, whatever. But I think it's that. So you could call that the current term for it would be like social proof in a way. In some kind of way, like, all right, that guy's been there, done that.
Yeah, and I think even just getting the honest feedback from people and say, hey, what would you tell yourself in my situation?
Sure.
And I think seeing people who have been through life, there's a different piece of wisdom there that's more than just facts and knowledge. They might not know the trends of whatever is hip or cool.
They know this kid, but they don't know day-to-day tactics, but they understand the mindset.
And oftentimes they've seen stuff like this come and ebb and flow, and they can see the longer play more so than someone like our generation can see. And so I think gleaning that wisdom from those around us is huge. And I think ultimately too, it does bless the people in the mentor position as well.
Awesome, that's great stuff. A couple more rapid fire questions that I did not email them. John?
Yes.
Favorite collegiate team in our upcoming football season?
Michigan State Spartans.
Fantastic answer.
Yep.
I didn't even tell him to say that.
We're going to the ship.
This is a more challenging question.
Still Michigan State Spartans.
What is our record going to be?
Undefeated.
Okay, good
You
answer.
think? Wow.
Good answer. Undefeated.
Not
Undefeated.
Yep.
Undefeated. Did you place a bet on that?
Not yet.
Because the return on that bet is going to be awesome.
Astronomical.
Awesome. Yes. Okay. Chris, yourself?
Rapid fire. I'm more of a U of M fan. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
It's been my since I was young.
We try to blame it out.
Does Calvin go to the national football team?
We'll call those in yellow for you.
Yeah.
And then burn it.
All right, what's your record going to be then? And over
man, I think
do people still go to Ann Arbor? Okay.
Yeah, I would say I don't know. I would say 2 losses.
2 losses.
So we'll
Michigan State and Ohio State.
Oh, come on now.
Sorry, I gotta get it in.
All right. Here this just came out. Who would win in one-on-one right now? LeVar Ball or Michael Jordan?
I gotta go MJ.
Yeah.
Just dunk all over the place. Tongue out.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that guy's gonna be 80 and have a cane and smack you with a cane and still give you
Still
the
dunk
turnover.
over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Go MJ all day.
All right. Any golf fans? Who's winning the PGA Championship?
Ricky Fowler. I don't know.
Rory.
Rory. Maybe one of the
I like
top
it.
10 golfers.
I like it. Boys, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
to see you, man.
Thank you, John.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
What did you guys order?
Yeah, yes. What did we order here? Let's talk about this real quick. I ordered the Schumacher Pilsner, and it is food-a-lolly delightful, I must say. We didn't drink very fast this episode.
I got the Erst lager. So the Harmony's first ever lager, refreshingly crisp, balanced brew.
I got the Crossroads IPA, which is nice because it's kind of a rye IPA, but
Bone
also
Thugs. There we
sticks
go.
to the IPA family and bitterness. So.
Cute Bone Thugs and Harmony. So,
Yep. First of the month.
All right, boys. Thank you so much. That is it for Hops and Handshakes. Do I say anything in conclusion? No, do I?
Outro? Is this where we throw our beers at the camera?
We will. We'll work on this. Next episode, if you watch it.
Alex is like, wrap it up, man. Jeez.